Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving deep into the captivating world of Alocasia amazonica. Join me as we explore everything you need to know about this stunning plant. In my collection, I have one beautiful mother plant. She just finished blooming and lost 2 leaves, so I'm now eagerly awaiting more new growth. Additionally, I have one charming medium-sized specimen and 3 adorable baby plants. So stay with me as I share all the information and tips for growing and propagating this remarkable plant. Commonly referred to as African mask, jewel alocasia, or elephant ear, this plant is sometimes known commercially as Alocasia polly. It's important to note that this plant has never existed in the rainforests of the Amazon or South America and has never been observed naturally in any rainforest in the world. It was hybridized by Salvador Morrow and is a cross between Alocasia longiloba and Alocasia sanderiana. However, sellers and buyers often confuse Alocasia amazonica with Alocasia polly, a smaller mutant of Alocasia amazonica, which originated with Dennis and Bill Rodoland at Silver Chrome Gardens in Homestead, Florida. The leaves of Alocasia amazonica are large, arrow-shaped, and adorned with deep green veins, creating a striking contrast against the glossy, dark green sheen. They can grow up to a foot long and 6 inches wide, making them a focal point in any indoor space. The backside of the leaves of Alocasia amazonica reveals a contrasting deep maroon or purple hue, adding to its visual appeal. The texture is often matte or slightly rough compared to the glossy front, creating an interesting tactile experience. Not only are these leaves beautiful, but they also serve as a reliable indicator of the plant's health. Changes in leaf color or texture can signal issues such as overwatering, underwatering, or nutrient deficiencies. Under the right conditions, Alocasia amazonica can produce small, inconspicuous flowers. While the flowers themselves are not the main attraction of this plant, they can add an interesting dimension to its overall appearance. Mine bloomed about a month ago, and the flower lasted around 5 days. Many plant lovers cut the flower as it starts growing to give the leaves more energy, but others prefer to let the flowers dry out naturally to finish the blooming process. This is because if you cut the flowers in the early stage of blooming, the plant may produce another flower, which is not ideal for Alocasia. In my experience with various Alocasia varieties, once the plant is done blooming, it may take a few months before it starts producing new leaves. After this period, it should start growing more rapidly. Alocasia amazonica requires a careful balance when it comes to watering. It prefers consistently moist soil, but should not be waterlogged, as this can lead to root rot. It's essential to allow the top inch of soil to dry out between waterings to prevent overwatering. The frequency of watering will depend on various factors such as the size of the pot, humidity levels, and the plant's environment. Generally, Alocasia amazonica should be watered when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch. During the growing season, which is typically spring and summer, you may need to water more frequently. In contrast, during the dormant season, which is usually fall and winter, you can reduce the frequency of watering. It's also a good idea to use room temperature water when watering your Alocasia amazonica, as cold water can shock the plant. Additionally, using a pot with drainage holes and allowing excess water to drain away will help prevent waterlogged soil. Alocasia amazonica thrives in bright, indirect light. Direct sunlight can scorch its leaves, so it's best to place it in a location where it receives filtered sunlight or in a room with bright, indirect light. While it can tolerate lower light conditions for short periods, prolonged low light can cause the plant to become leggy and hinder its growth. During the summer months, it's best to protect the plant from direct sunlight by placing it behind sheer curtains or in a location where it receives dappled sunlight. In the winter months, when the sunlight is less intense, you may be able to place your Alocasia amazonica closer to a window to receive more direct light. It's essential to monitor your plant and adjust its placement as needed to ensure it receives the right amount of light for optimal growth. Alocasia amazonica thrives in high humidity levels, ideally between 60 to 80% for optimal growth. To increase humidity, you can use a humidifier, place a tray of water near the plant, but not directly under the pot, or group plants together to create a microclimate. I prefer using a humidifier as it provides the most consistent humidity levels. I avoid spraying the leaves because their uneven surface can lead to fungal problems. Instead, I suggest showering the plant once every few months, followed by gently drying the leaves with a soft towel to prevent water from pooling. In terms of temperature, Alocasia amazonica prefers temperatures between 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's important to avoid drastic temperature fluctuations and drafts, as they can stress the plant. During the winter months, when indoor heating can lead to drier air, it's crucial to monitor humidity levels and provide additional humidity if needed to keep your Alocasia amazonica healthy. Yellow leaves may naturally occur as the plant matures, especially on older leaves at the bottom of the plant. This is normal, and you can prune these leaves to maintain the plant's appearance. However, if you notice yellowing on the edges of leaves, it may indicate a problem with watering or low humidity. Underwatering can also lead to yellow leaves. Make sure to water your plant thoroughly when the top inch of soil is dry, but be careful not to let it sit in water. Nutrient deficiencies, particularly a lack of nitrogen, can cause yellowing leaves. It's essential to identify the underlying cause to address the problem effectively. New growth on Alocasia amazonica usually appears as small, tightly rolled leaves emerging from the center of the plant. This is a sign of a healthy, growing plant. Ensure that your plant is receiving adequate light, water, and nutrients to support new growth. Fertilizing Alocasia amazonica is essential to ensure healthy growth and vibrant foliage. During the growing season in spring and summer, you can fertilize your plant every 1 to 2 weeks with a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted to half the recommended strength. Avoid fertilizing during the plant's dormant period in fall and winter, as this can lead to nutrient buildup in the soil. Regularly cleaning the leaves of Alocasia amazonica is essential for maintaining its health and appearance. Dust and debris can accumulate on the leaves, hindering photosynthesis and potentially leading to pest infestations. To clean the leaves, gently wipe them with a soft, damp cloth or sponge. Avoid using harsh chemicals or leaf shine products, as these can damage the leaves. I usually use a soft brush to remove the dust first and then clean them with a soft cloth. Showering is also a good option, as I mentioned earlier, because it will clean the leaves thoroughly along with the stems, roots, and soil. However, always ensure to drain out all the water from the soil and remove any accumulated water on the leaves. Don't forget to clean the backside of the leaves too, as most infestations are hidden there. Choosing the right potting soil is crucial for the health and growth of your Alocasia amazonica. A well-draining, aerated soil mix is ideal to prevent waterlogging, which can lead to root rot. For potting my Alocasia amazonica, I use my own aerate mix, which includes cocoa coir, bark, perlite as the main base, and additional ingredients to enrich the soil and make it more chunky. This well-draining mix provides the right balance of nutrients for healthy growth. Check the description for a link to the recipe. Avoid using heavy soils or those that retain too much moisture, such as garden soil, as they can suffocate the roots and lead to issues with overwatering. Repot your Alocasia amazonica every 1 to 2 years to refresh the soil and provide the plant with fresh nutrients. When repotting, always choose a pot one size larger, as these plants are root-bound. If the current pot size is sufficient, you can simply change the soil and replant it in the same pot. I love this repotting process when it comes to all Alocasia plants because inside the soil, you can find corms attached to the roots. These corms are your potential new plant. This is the main way of propagating your Alocasia amazonica, from corms. I have a fully detailed video on how to propagate Alocasia regal shield from corms. The process is the same for Alocasia amazonica corms, so I'll leave a link in the description for you to watch later. These cute babies grow from corms, and I planted them 3 weeks ago. I had 4, but unfortunately, one of them has died because I accidentally watered it with fertilizer, which is not suitable for very small plants, so I burned it. You should start fertilizing your new plants when they have at least 3 leaves and a fully formed root system. In addition to propagating from corms, Alocasia amazonica can also be propagated through division. When repotting, you can carefully divide the plant into smaller sections, each with its own roots and corms, and plant them in separate pots. This can help rejuvenate an older plant and provide you with new plants to expand your collection. As you can see, this baby has already formed small roots. I'll wait a few more weeks and then plant it in a pot. Alocasia amazonica is generally resistant to pests, but it can still be susceptible to a few common ones. Spider mites, aphids, and mealybugs can occasionally infest these plants. To prevent these pests, regularly inspect your plant and isolate it if you notice any signs of infestation. You can treat infestations with insecticidal soap or neem oil, but be sure to test these treatments on a small area first to ensure they won't harm your plant. In terms of diseases, root rot and yellowing leaves as a sign of nutrient deficiencies or improper watering could be problems. However, if you follow the instructions I provided in this video, you don't have to worry. One interesting extra tip for Alocasia amazonica is to rotate the plant occasionally. This helps ensure even growth on all sides and prevents the plant from leaning towards the light source. Additionally, rotating the plant allows you to inspect all sides for pests or issues regularly. I hope this video has provided you with all the information you need for successfully growing Alocasia amazonica indoors. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to write them down below in the comments section. If you like my content, please support my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. It means a lot to me and it's completely free for you. Thanks for watching.